Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a successful weekend that was full of rest and relaxation. For those of you that didn't get that, I apologize. You're gonna have to work on that. But the thing is, it's Monday, and Monday ate its Wheaties, and it's coming for you. And that's kind of a phrase that I've used a lot, but it really is true because you know, it has to do with your mentality. We always think that, man, we got to get it. Monday's difficult. Monday's going to be hard. We got to gear up for Mondays. All these things have to happen because Monday's this evil thing. And the reality is that it has probably 95% to do with mindset and 5% to do with the reality of what happens. I'll give you an example. So I've been traveling a lot. I do travel a lot. I travel all over. And one of the things that I've noticed lately is that a lot of people are seeing that we're having huge problems at the airports. And it's really not that we're having huge problems at the airport. I mean, there are a lot of things that are coming back, right? They're understaffed because they have all this training that has to happen on a normal basis. And normally all these things are happening concurrently, and everybody's getting trained at a different time. Well, now they've got to train massive amounts of people. They've got to bring them back all at once. There's all these things that are going on that are, a little bit extraordinary. And so we've got a large number of people coming back into an area, but it has everything to do with how you view what's going on, right? I mean, it doesn't really matter what you're feeling about how delayed you are in the airport. Most cases, it's still a lot quicker than driving, right? But we get this mentality that, hey, this has to happen this way and this has to happen this way. And when I go to the airport, the line is short and what's going on and how come this and how come there's a delay and how come this lady can't answer my question and what's going on and when can I get to Cincinnati? Well, the reality was you can't get from Boise to Cincinnati quickly anyway, so you might as well relax, put on a mindset that says, hey, you know what? I'm going to deal with this in the best possible manner that's going to be both effective for myself and the person I'm working with and interacting with so that at the end of the day, we both survive this, right? We're not at war over things. And a lot of that, what I mean by the mindset of it is if you're really thinking that this is going to take some time, this is going to be a process. This is going to be an experience. There's going to be bumps in it. My gosh, what a great experience. I'm surprised at how smooth it went. Instead of preparing for the best, and then when something less than that shows up, we panic, right? And so when I say that Monday ate its Wheaties and it's coming for you, it's because it's about getting you in the right mindset, showing up, ready to work, ready to do your job, ready to make things happen in your world. And when you show up with the right mindset, it's amazing how ridiculously easy things become. See, if you show up thinking that everything is going to be a challenge and everything is going to take 110% and everything needs to be prepared for 2 and 3 days in advance, you're probably going to win. You're probably going to have a lot of very successful interactions and very successful transactions and conversations because you're prepared for them. You're ready to deal with them. And then when those things come along that are out of the blue, coming at you sideways, there was no way to experience or expect, then you have the ability to look at that and go, I've got bandwidth to make that fit because everything else in your world is expected. It's what you thought it was going to be. It's there because it happens on a regular basis. But all of that has to do with your mindset. And it all comes back down to how are you going to deal with it and what are you going to think about it? Pretty cool trick, huh? But at the end of the day, when your mind is right and your mind is one of success and your mind is a thought process full of winning, then it makes it very easy. It makes it very, very comfortable for you to expect the results that you got. I often liken it to somebody that is 5 or 6 levels removed from what actually happens in the street. And let's take, for example, a regional manager, and how they take something into stride when employees don't show up in a coffee shop, right? As the regional manager, that doesn't affect them. As a regional manager, they're looking at did all the managers do their reporting? Are the balances there? They're looking at their managerial roles over the other managers. Then you go down a level, and those managers are looking at what their job responsibility is. Did they get these things done? Did they get these things done? Their shift leaders do this. Did their shift leaders do that? And the shift leaders are the ones that are actually really freaking out because they got to cover the shift, right? You can do the same thing in your mind. You can segregate your world and you could go, I need to think from a 30,000-foot view about the fact that this in my world changed, about that in my life changed, about this is the reality of what's going on. And instead of being in the moment and panicking about what is exactly happening in this minute in time, you can take a couple steps back. It's still your life, you're still in control, but you can look at it pragmatically and go, okay, did this part of my world show up? Did these things that I was planning on having happen today happen? Am I still going to be going to school or to work or these things? Is this still necessary for me to do? And as you come across those things and you check that box, then you can put some systematic order in your life and know that at the end of the day, I'm still winning. I'm still getting things done. Did I have problems? Yeah. Did things go wrong? Absolutely. Was I able to get through it and get it squared away? I believe I was. Why? Because I looked at it from a larger perspective instead of focusing on what the problem is and what the solution is, right? And what I mean by that is you can still solve a problem, but when you let the problem become everything in your windscreen, it makes it impossible to focus on the other things in your life. When everything in your face is the problem, because this one thing over here has begun to fester and has gotten in the way and is taking over everything, it's hard to look globally. And when you don't look globally, all you see is that problem, that one thing in your life that's ruining everything, that one thing that is taking over, that one thing that is dragging everything you do down. But the reality is, it's likely not. It's likely not that you're sitting on the deck of the Titanic and you're going down. It's likely that there's just one or two things off that can be rectified, that can be simplified, that can be dealt with, but they don't need to be consuming. They don't need to overwhelm and drag you down right now. They can do these things with you over time. And you should never ignore the problem. You should never walk away from it. You should never pretend like it doesn't exist. But at the same time, you need to make sure that when you're doing these things, you're doing them in order. I see a lot of people that when one thing catches on fire, they quit focusing at the other 15 tasks they're doing or the other 10 tasks on their plate for the day, and they focus on the fire. At the end of the day, maybe the fire is extinguished. Maybe it's caught several other tasks on fire because the focus was diverted and other things got dropped. Life is a juggling act. And when you don't prioritize and look at it from a global level or a 30,000-foot view level, a lot of times you drop the ball trying to pick up something else. Whereas you've already dropped that, or that task has already gone sideways, or somebody else already let you down, or major shift happened in your life, but it doesn't mean it needs to completely upset the rest of your world and dominate everything about your world. So the reality is at the end of the day, if that's what you're trying to do is keep all things in your life in some semblance of order, I would recommend that you start by making sure that you keep as many things floating as you can. Stay abreast of all the situations, make a list of what the priorities are. And obviously, you can't build the second floor without the foundation being in and the first floor in. There's a little builder analogy for you. But at the same time, you can't give up on the process just because you didn't get what you needed right this very minute. One of the things I've realized in my life is that the infomercials lie. I don't know if you guys have figured this out, but it's always harder than they say it is. You can never lose weight that fast. You're never going to be able to sell that many. And there's always these things that we are overpromised and underdelivered on. But that doesn't mean that you need to be one of them. And the easiest way I've found to not be one of those people is to not overpromise yourself, not make things up for yourself that aren't realistic. Stay grounded. Stay around people that know you, love you, and care about you. Make sure that they're on your side, they're listening to you, and they're helping you get through what it is you're facing. But at the same time, cut yourself some slack. Grow, read, dig in, find your own solutions. And at the end of the day, make sure that you're keeping most of the things above water. And you'll find that after a while, you'll get pretty used to treading water and juggling at the same time. So, guys, don't let Monday eat your lunch. Pack your own lunch and go take care of Monday as it should be. That's all I got for today, guys. Hope you found it motivational. Go out there and get yours this week. I'll talk to you at the end of the week. Have a great one, guys. Bye bye.